Hi there, Jakob. Let's take a look at this new set of essays you've sent us. The first one is about technology. Here's what you said. Digital technologies have changed the way people communicate. It is debated whether digital communication has positively contributed to more social engagement of people or not. I completely share the former opinion, mainly because of my own experience during the last 20 years. This essay will discuss both sides, using examples from my own observations as well as that of social sciences. Okay, that's lovely. I was a little concerned about maybe this. You talked about both sides. And here you said former opinion. It's a form of ellipsis. It works. It's fine. I was a little concerned about it, but I kind of rationalized it and it's fine, so don't worry. All right. So first, digital media allows us to. It allows us to do something. That's how you use allow with a full infinitive. So digital media allows us to stay continuously in contact with other people. Most importantly, smartphones, but also other portable electronic devices like laptops or tablets give the opportunity to send messages at any time and almost from anywhere. For example, messenger services like Skype, WhatsApp, or even SMS are used by most people along nearly all group of ages. That's awkward. By most people of nearly all age groups. That's probably a better way to say this. Several times per day. By consequence, they easily can keep up with changes in their friends or family's lives really would be better here, without the need of time-consuming letter writing or telephoning. Secondly, exchange of news about us can be shared more easily, not easier, more easily than in the past. This is because we can post stories of moments or events of moments of events. That's awkward. Of moments, how about or events better, we experienced on the internet. Facebook is the most prominent example of these services. Reading these stories keeps us up to date and makes us maybe even more curious to get further information. All right, that's good so far. On the other hand, digital communication lets day-to-day On the other hand, digital communication lets direct face-to-face interactions disappear. Spending our time I would get rid of the with. Spending our time managing our digital presentations and editing messengers gives us fewer occasions for personal meetings. A prominent example in Japan, known for emerging crisis because fewer young people find a partner due to lack of real-life dates. Awkward. There's something happening here with your grammar. It confused me. I had to read it at least 2 or 3 times to understand, but I still don't. How about a prominent example is that of Japan, known for an emerging crisis because fewer young people find a partner due to a lack of real-life dates. Therefore, it is questionable if all people get increasingly social. That's awkward. Therefore, it is questionable if people are getting increasingly social despite more technical means. Okay. To conclude from the examples and arguments given, I strongly agree with the idea that digital technology makes us more focused, ED, on social contacts. Even if in some cases people get more isolated in analog life, it is predicted that the current trend of communicating through electronic devices will continue. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit. I thought what you wrote was good. I think I've given you some detailed feedback about your paragraphs, about what you wrote in terms of grammar and as well in terms of content. But now I want to get a little more specific. First of all, you said that you agree that these means have positively contributed, right? And in this paragraph, you discuss the positive, and in this paragraph, you discuss the negative. Well, if that's the case, then the order of your paragraphs is incorrect, because what we do in essay writing is we talk about the side that we don't support first, and then we talk about the side that we do support. This is how you organize your ideas in a paragraph. Because it's kind of like, well, yes, but. And that's how you want to organize it. It's a more logical, more rational way of organizing paragraphs. First, you talk about the side that you don't support, and then you talk about the side that you do support. which means that you have to reverse these paragraphs, okay? Now, the second thing I want to talk about is your paragraph length. Look at this. All right, this is like what, 9 lines long or so? I think it's about 9. This one is about half that. So what it looks like is that you have developed one side of the argument more fully than you have the other. Now, no one is going to sit there and count your words, but you should try to have at least to a rough level a similar size for each of your body paragraphs. So this would appear to be too small. And, you know, I don't want to say that you overextended here. I would never want to say something like that. But in comparison, this definitely seems too small. So try to kind of approximately even this stuff out. You wrote a good essay, though, on the whole. All right. But now we're looking at things that will make a good essay a great essay. So nicely done. But now let's look at your task 1 here about these shoes. Okay, the bar chart illustrates the numbers of brown and black leather shoes bought in 9 different European countries in 2018. Overall, most shoes have been sold, not have been, we know when they were sold. They were sold in 2018, so just use past simple. So overall, most shoes were sold in Hungary, and that's not true either. Most shoes were sold in Hungary, because that's as if like the majority of shoes were sold in Hungary and very few shoes were sold elsewhere. But that's not what you're saying. You want to say the most shoes were sold in Hungary. Or how about this? Hungary sold the most shoes and France the fewest, whereby a considerable variance concerning the color of the shoes existed. Fine. First, the total number of brown and black leather shoes was roughly 250,000. To get rid of that S, because we never put an S when there's a number here. In Hungary, with no strong preference for a specific type of shoe. French consumers instead only bought around 100,000 shoes, mostly brown pairs. All right, let's see. So here you're talking about Hungary, and then you're talking about France. Why did you decide to talk about France? What was the rationale for that? Okay, so you started with Hungary and then you said in contrast France. I'm not entirely sure why you decided to do that. Okay, I understand why you decided to talk maybe about France in terms of black shoes, but I definitely don't understand why you talked about it in general, especially since brown leather shoes in Belgium were the least sold anywhere. So let me look at that again. Yeah, okay. And this too, only 100,000 shoes. Hold on 1 second, because I don't know what you're doing here. Mostly brown. Okay. Oh, so what you did is I see what you did. You added these. Okay. Now it makes sense to me. I don't really want you to do that because that's not the way that this bar chart has been created for you. I just figured out what you were doing. What you did is you decided to add the brown with the black, but that's not how this data is presented, and so you shouldn't organize your ideas like that. You should have focused on it a little differently. Like I said, I understand now why you did what you did, but I don't think that was such a good idea. In any case, I want to read what else you wrote before I move on. Turning to shoe color, Belgium nearly exclusively not needed. We don't know what they needed. We only know what they bought. So Belgium nearly exclusively bought black shoes, while in Poland, the number of sales of brown shoes was the highest among the whole group with approximately 125,000. Now we're talking about black. So Belgium exclusively needed black, and then Poland. What are you saying about Poland? Now I'm confused. Hold on. Brown. Okay, fine. What did you say about brown leather shoes? Yes, okay. Building groups by color preference revealed that people in Germany, France, Ireland, Holland, and Poland preferred brown shoes more over get rid of more, because that's what the word preferred does. Preferred has a double R. So preferred brown shoes over black ones. Sales numbers for the latter instead were higher in Hungary, Belgium, Hungary, and UK. Wait, Hungary? What did you just do here? Hungary, Belgium, Hungary? Obviously, there's a mistake here. And the UK. To summarize, sales numbers for brown and black leather shoes showed considerable differences between. Okay, fine. Your grammar's good, your vocabulary is good. The problem here is with the way you organized this. There is not just one way to organize it. I found that the way you did it was cumbersome, and I also I suspect that I'm pretty certain that you left out some important information. Let's talk about what kind of information you left out. So first of all, let's talk about the data you included. You included 1, 2, 3 pieces of data, but look how many pieces of data you actually had. You had 18. So in terms of proportion, that is a very, very small proportion of data that you have included. It's just not enough. All right, so that is absolutely going to mark down your task achievement score because it's just not enough data. If I were to try to draw this bar chart based on your description, I would not be able to, not even approximately. And so that's a problem. And I want you to keep that kind of as your goal. You should describe this in such a way that if somebody did not have the bar chart in front of him, he or she could roughly, at least approximately, draw what you're looking at. So there are a number of ways to do this, and I can just suggest maybe one right now in the interest of time. One of my suggestions is to use these labels along the side. You've got this 0, this 50, this 100, and this 150. So there are a couple of things you could do. So first of all, obviously you're going to write your introduction. Then I always like to see the overview directly after my introduction. Okay, so assuming those are done, if you're going to go into your detailed paragraphs, then one thing you could do is you could start with the black leather shoes. So what I would do is I would probably start with Hungary. Okay, and I would probably then talk about France, just like you did, really. But again, we're only talking about black leather shoes. Then I would talk about Italy and Belgium, since they're both over this 100 mark. I'm going to use this key here. So they're both over the 100 mark. And then I would simply say that the remaining countries all sold between 50 and 100,000. And then I'm done. I at least have an approximate number. I would do pretty much the same thing with my brown leather shoes. So here I would probably talk about these top 3, or rather top 4, forgive me. I would probably say that 4 countries all sold over 100,000 brown leather shoes. In order, they were Poland, Hungary, Germany, and Italy. Okay? And you could probably be a good idea in parentheses to write what that number is and write what that number is. And then you could say Belgium sold the lowest number of any color shoe in any country with brown leather shoes at just over like maybe 10,000. And then again, say that 1, 2, 3, 4 countries and name what those countries are sold all between 50 and 100,000. You're done. You're out of there. So that's a simple way to organize the data. Now, in terms of making comparisons, because a lot of times the prompt asks you to make comparisons, you can do that here. You can maybe talk about the highest figure in the chart, Hungary, okay, with black leather shoes, and what that is compared to Belgium's brown leather shoes. So maybe you could say that there is like a I don't know, like a 10-fold difference or a 100-fold difference or whatever the number is. I'm not really doing my math right now. I'm just trying to give you ideas of how you can compare things together. That's one thing you could do. So like I said, that's one way to group this. There's not just that way, obviously, but it's one way to make it clean and make it clear. Okay? So go ahead and correct these and let's see a little more work from you. I'm looking forward to it, so good luck.